Hi guys, in this video you will be learning about how to create WebSocket server like Pusher. How a WebSocket server works. Hi guys, it's Shayan and today we are going to build a WebSocket server like Pusher in Golang. Okay, let's get started. First thing we have to do is to install Golang. I have already installed it, so I will not install it. I can show you the version which I am using. I am using Go 1.22.3. Okay. Now let me show you how the WebSocket server works and then we will continue with the programming. Okay. Okay, how it works is that client first sends the request, that is HTTP GET request. The WebSocket server sends a request on the same port and asks for the upgradation to the WebSocket server. Okay. After the WebSocket upgrade request has been received by the client approves it and sends back that the server can communicate with the client. So now the connection has been made and they both can communicate bi-directional. What is bi-directional? Bi-directional is simple that client can send a message to the WebSocket server and WebSocket server can also send back the message to the client. By using WebSocket server, you can create real-time applications like chat applications, real-time support tickets, etc. So let's get started. Firstly, we will be creating a WebSocket directory and going into that. After that, write this command go mod init and github.com / your username and / whatever you want to name it. I will name it WebSocket. Okay. Now you will have a go.mod file. After this, let's create a main.go and check if it's working fine. Okay. Now it's working fine. So let's create a make file to make our builds and run commands easier. Okay, this means that we are defining a command that is build and that will run this piece of code or CLI. And after that, we are defining our run command that runs build first and then runs this command. That is our executable. So let's try with the make file. Okay, now it's working fine. Let's start creating the WebSocket server. One package you need for the WebSocket server is Gorilla WebSocket. You can find this link in the description and you can just type go get and WebSocket. You can import it in your application now. So let's import it. Okay, now it's imported and now we will be using, firstly we will be using HTTP to make a handler function and then we will be taking the request and sending the request back to the client with the upgrade request. Let's create a function that will handle the WebSocket. This will be the same like the simple web server web handle function. And we can add it here. After that, we have to listen and serve on the port which you want and pass nil here. What we can also do is log.fatal, that if any errors occur, it will turn our application off. It's fatal. And one thing more we can do is we can write that server is serving, server is started. For now, for testing, I will comment this package out and run the WebSocket, our main file. Okay, now we have got the message the server is started on port 8000. Let's send a request and check if we are getting the response. Actually, we will not get any response. Let's write some response here. Okay, now let's try it. Let's restart our server and try again. Okay, now we are getting hello world back. So now let's upgrade it to the, okay, we have to create a upgrader first. Let's create it. We need only read buffer size and write buffer size for now. Let's make it 1 GB, 1024 MB. Okay, now we will upgrade this method. Now let's just print the connection on the console for now. And remove this hello world and let's try it now. Okay, to connect the WebSocket server, we will be using console. I hope so it's clearly visible. Okay, now it says WebSocket request origin not allowed by upgrader.check origin. So for this, we have to write a function named check origin. It will have a request and bool as a return type, and we will just return true for now. And let's run this again. Okay, now you can see that our connection is being printed out. So now let's start the communication phase. First thing we have to do is to read from the client. So we will be creating an infinite loop that will read the message from this connection. Let's just print out the message type and message. As message will be in the bytes, so we have to convert that into the string. Now let's try it out. Okay, now WebSocket connection has been made and you can see the client's information here. Now let's try sending the message from here. Okay, we have to connect it again and send a message. Okay, we have got the message here. Okay, now let's send a message from the WebSocket server back. I will send a message when I receive the message. For that, I will create a type with the name of client and store the connection details there. Let's create a new client here and add the connection details from here. Okay, after creating a client, I will send that to the send message function that I will create right now. Star means that we are sending the pointer, and let's send client dot connection dot write message and okay, let's try it out. One thing we have to do is to add a on message event handler. See the messages here. Let's send a message. Okay, now we are sending hello world and we are getting the welcome message in return. Okay, so you can also send the JSON data in this by this method. I will name my variable payload and JSON.Marshall. Let's create a response that we want to send. It should be this type, that key map pair. So it will be let's say we say data and welcome. Now we have the response and payload, and we can just pass the payload here. Now let's test it out. Okay, now we are getting the data, that data welcome. We can just JSON parse this and use this in our application. Okay, now let's create the pub sub method that pusher uses. Let's create a structure with a pub sub name and add clients. This will be the in-memory clients, so they are removed whenever the web application is closed. We can append the clients in the pub sub. Now let's just print how many clients we have. Okay, now let's create two clients. I will create another client here. Now you can check that total clients are 1. Let me refresh this and connect again. Okay, there was a small issue that we are creating PubSub on every WebSocket handler call. So we have to make it here so that it's in memory and stored. Now let's try it out again. Okay, now you can see that there are a total of 2 clients. We can try sending messages. Okay, now we can see that we have 2 messages, hello 1 and hello from client 2. Okay, now let's make it that so that we can handle the receiving and sending concurrently. So for that we will be creating a go routine. In which we will add this for loop. We will have to pass the client and connection. Now let's try it again. Well, now you can see that messages are coming fine. One thing more we can do is that we can assign a socket ID to a client. This is how pusher differentiates between different clients. So we will add that, and let me install this Google package. Okay, now every client will have a different socket ID. So let's print it and check it out. Okay, now you can see that they have a different UUID. Let's connect with second client. Here you can check that they both have different IDs. So what we can do is we can send the message according to the socket ID and get that data from the pub sub. We can do all sorts of these different things with the socket ID and this method. One thing more you can do is you can add channel. Channel to the messages, like for example, let's add channel and we will provide the client.socket ID. Why we provide channel is because the to send the data back to the specific client, not to all the clients. So we can specify the channel. And okay, this was it, that how you create a WebSocket server in Golang. I will create a series about creating a chat application using this web server. So stay tuned, subscribe. Thank you.